Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the kitchen. So, I did a video recently showing my favorite bats or my favorite senior bats that I saw in 2024 that we reviewed. So, I wanted to shift and highlight the U triplets inside. So, right now, I have a compilation of all my favorite bats that I've sold from 2024 on the U trip side from each company. I think 2024 was such a great year for bats, for the consumer, for everybody. There were just so many good drops that I'm sure people spent so much money on bats this year that I just want to apologize if y'all bought if I took what's the best way to put it. I've had people say whenever I drop a review, they end up spending more money. That's not the intent, but it has been a great year when it comes to what these manufacturers have done. So this list is not intended to show or say which bat is better than the next. This is just my tribute to all the companies out there that have, taken the time to really put out a good product. And the bats that I personally liked felt good in my hands, or I felt like I got performance out of it based off of my swings and what I like. Also, man, some of these bats are still available on the market. So if you see something for cheap, man, might be something you might want to, scoop up real quick. I know 2024 was a great year, like I said. I'm sure 2025 is going to be equally as good, if not better. So, shout out to all the companies out there who have done nothing but good stuff, man. Hopefully, we don't miss anyone in this, in this compilation. So, anyways, y'all stay tuned. All right, and let's go ahead and get this going. All right, right out the gate, we have the Anarchy Streets. This was the 2023 or 2024 model. I don't remember the exact year. This was a 12.5-inch barrel, one piece, 1 ounce end load. As you can see, a lot of people, when they first met me when I moved to Tampa, when I was looking for a U-Trip bat, I swung the blue Anarchy Streets. And that was because of a buddy of mine who he currently passed on, Wayne Hedden. I saw him at a tournament swinging it and just dropping nukes. So I just knew that this was a bat that I had to try. The Anarchy Streets was something that it just fit my swing with a stiff handle, very responsive. The barrel wasn't soft. It performed well in the heat, performed well in the cold. And, Scobie always said in these videos, man, you could tell when I like a bat when I can't stop smiling. So the Anarchy Streets was definitely my favorite bat from the Anarchy side. All right, next up we have the Juno final chapter, the Flip Washington signature. The name is fitting, as that was one of his final bats from Juno. I didn't get to swing too many bats from Juno this year, but this bat, the day that we reviewed it, it was a very, very iffy day, meaning it was kind of hot and cold at the same time, but the performance, just was there with the bat. Like I said, we have swung also the backwoods as well, and a couple other Junos, not much. But out of the Junos that we swung, the final chapter was good. Also, it was good to just have the day to hang out with Flip and my boy Blue, and we went ahead and we ate good that day. I ain't gonna tell y'all what we ate though, but we definitely ate good that day, man. So from the Juno side, the final chapter, Flip Washington edition.
About to kill a bird.
All right, coming in from the Suncoast side, I went with a Josh Kirsten Suncoast. What I liked about this bat, we saw this bat in the middle of the summer. What I liked about this bat was it had a stiff handle, a very responsive barrel. But this bat, not only did it help compression, this was a bat that you could have BP. Like, it wasn't extremely hot out of wrapper. Like, it took a little bit to work it in. But, man, once she got going, it was kind of like, whoa. Like, it kind of gave me this old school feel with bats, like, back in, 2008, 2009, where you had to break in a bat, put a couple hundred swings on it before you game it, and then, you let it rip. And then you didn't have to worry about the durability or the compression as well. We had the sun in our eyes this day that we swung it, but it did not matter. We were just launching with this bat. This was definitely a fun one to hit. The Suncoast, Josh Kirsten, Ruckus. The Megalo was good too, but I actually prefer the Josh Kirsten. Okay, up next we have my favorite one from Miken this year, which was not easy because Miken has dropped some really, really good products this year. But my favorite bat, which I felt was the sleeper of the year, was a Miken KP Pro M1. We had it in a 28 ounce. This bat from swing number one was just very, very good, very responsive, a good feel to it. Held compression for a good while. I think it started to feel like about 250, 300 swings. But one of the things I really like about this bat was, one, it did come in a weight that we swing. Two, it kind of gave me that almost like one of those 220 freaks that it just jumped, man. And even based on this video, I know it was a little bit cooler when we swung it. It was like in mid 60s. But the response, the flight, everything with this bat, I think for me, Miken has done a good job dropping bats all year, but this was just my personal favorite, and I personally think this was the sleeper bat of the year, the Miken KP Pro M1.
Oh my fucking god. That's gone forever. That is the furthest fucking ball I have ever seen you hit.
All right, up next, coming from Axe, I had a little bit of a, a little bit of a hard time dwindling down this one because I love the one-piece bats, but I went with the Axe Miguez simply because this had such a heavy end load. I think it was a full ounce or ounce and a half. It might have been a full ounce, shorter barrel, and I got this bat from Swing Cartel, and this bat just performed like crazy. I think all the axes performed, but just the loading on this bat was really, really good. Nice little design and everything like that. Like I said, with this, with picking up my favorite bats, it's more on the feel and bats that I was game. So the fact that this bat was so end loaded, man, really, really like it, man. So the Axe Miguez was my favorite axe that I swung this year.
You got two more? Hey. Good swing, dog. Woo!
Yeah, Alan, it's all you.
All right, next up we got from Pure. I think Pure made a big splash coming back on the market. So my favorite Pure U-Triple-S bat that I swung this year was a Pure Tyler Irvine. There was a lot of hype with this bat. I think League Night Heroes, when they swung this bat, they had Tyler Irvine on there where he was hitting like 118, 120, some insane number. And then we went ahead and got this bat. And, this bat did not disappoint. It felt good. It held compression. A nice stiff handle, very responsive barrel. Had that sandpaper finish. This was a bat that it definitely, turned some heads. I know Pure had some other good bats. I didn't get to swing the Lambright. I heard he's an Amish kid that drops nukes. So, I get nervous when I see Amish show up at the park. So for me, the Pure Tyler Irvine is the Pure bat that I prefer this year. All right, next up, this is a late entry from Porch, the Porch hot chicken. Porch is very new to the game when it comes to U-Triple-S bats. I think they made like 6 or 7 U-Triple-S bats between the Pickages, the Wake Popper. And one thing I can say about them, every bat that they have dropped since the first U-Trip bat has definitely been an improvement. This bat, the reason I went with this bat, even though it was advertised as balanced, it did swing like like it had a little bit more end load to it. It didn't vibrate my hands like some of the other bats, and the barrel itself was very responsive. Got good performance. I think they're actually, headed in the right direction and continue to improve what they're doing with their bats. What I will say is, what I would like to see maybe a little bit stiffer handle in their U-Trip bats. But when it came to bats that I prefer from Shoreport, the hot chicken was my favorite out of that bunch. It was really between the hot chicken and the original milkshake, but both were good, but I went with the hot chicken. This is another one that was kind of tough to just only pick one. This is from DeMarini. The bat that I preferred this year, or my favorite bat to review on their side, was the DeMarini Lady S&I. 13.5-inch barrel, APC composite. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was either mid-load or balanced. I don't remember. But nevertheless, very, very responsive barrel. And this was tough for me because I also love the DeMarini culture. But there was just something with the feel of this bat, the sound of this bat, and the sweet spot. It felt like a big sweet spot that you couldn't miss. And I really thought like this bat was, well, not just this bat. I really feel like the APC tech is just a game changer for DeMarini. The Vanilla Gorillas are all good. The Yates, the Twisted Mistress was really good. And like I said, I really love the culture. But, just to be honest with myself, I really prefer the Lady S&I as my bat. If I was to, only pick one bat, I think that was the bat that I had the best performance with on video with. So from DeMarini, the Lady S&I.
Yeah. They didn't get extended. Laid on it, and I think they found a good combination to hit pro-ams, man. Like having that tight barrel, it just seems trampoline with those 44s, man.
All right, here we are from Proton. My favorite Proton bat that I swung this year was the Proton Hot Butter After Dark. This was a bat that had a really, really good response. I think it was probably one of the cleaner designs of the bat. Great performance out of it. Love the handle, love the feel. Nothing negative to say about this bat, the sound on it definitely had like a baseball sound when you connected. But this was the bat out of the Proton side, out of the few bats that I swung from there that I preferred. Because, like I said, we got good performance, good durability, and it held compression, and it was a sick-looking bat. If I'm not mistaken, I think my boy John had something to do with the design. I'm not sure, but the Proton Hot Butter After Dark.
All right, a couple more.
All right, no surprise here from Combat, being that they came out later on in the year. But of course, I'm going to go with the Combat Bradley Jones 12.75 progressive loading on the barrel. Had that like sandpaper finish. Bat that was performed right out the wrapper. It was a bat that I saw in a couple tournaments, had really, really good feedback with. And sick looking design on the bat too. So being that they haven't been out that long, or the relaunch is kind of fairly new, I didn't really get to swing the balance bat or any other of the U-Trip line, but, so by default, the Combat Bradley Jones, don't really need to say much about it, so there it is. All right, here we go from the Louisville side. This was one that was really, really tough to dwindle down because they dropped very, very consistent products all year. The bat I'm going with is a KK41, simply because it came in a power load, had a full ounce end load, one-piece barrel, and this thing was just a bazooka. It was a shotgun. What convinced me about this bat wasn't just the way it performed for me, but the way it performed for some of the guys like Shane and Edwin. They all picked this bat up and had really, really good success with the bat. Always have that Louisville sound. We didn't get a seam when we did the review, but we did develop a seam like closer towards 250 swings. But the KK41, I think when I reviewed this bat, I labeled it hotter than fish grease. That's because it really was, man. So this was my favorite Louisville that I swung this year. The Louisville KK41. Another late entry. This is the Monster Anonymous Athletics M8 Tech bat. I need to do a better job getting some more monsters in the kitchen, man. I know Monster is known for ASA, but this USSA bat was something that turned our head that we recently did. Short barrel alloy handle, but really, really good performance. Really responsive. And when myself and I think it was myself, Chris, my buddy Dalton, we all swung it. Even Scobie, we were like, man, we hitting this bat just as far as some of the senior bats out there. So the M8 construction is really, really good, man. The Monster Anonymous Athletics, this for me edged out the Kinetic, which I also really like as well. But really, really good performance out of this bat. And yeah, this was my favorite USSA Monster that we swung this year. All right, so this one coming in from Onyx. The bat I'm going to go with is the Onyx Whole Enchilada. Swung some really good bats this year from Onyx. The Matrix I really like. They had the Toys for Kids that came out at the end of 2023 that I really like. But this Whole Enchilada was something special. This was really, really good. It was one of those bats that with Onyx, every now and then they'll just drop a bat that is like really, really hot and nobody knows about it. And this is where this bat fell into. Really good response on the barrel, stiff handle. It sounded better and better. And I want to say we got it down to about 260, 255. But we got another bat that we got good performance with. You know, again, before anybody asks, well, Chef, why you don't have another bat in here? I did not review the Big Chef Momentum. That's why it's not here. So, and I'm never going to review that bat. But as far as on the Onyx side, the Whole Enchilada was my favorite bat that I reviewed on 2024.
That one did. Question the first one, huh? Here you go. Doesn't have that soft feel, but like.
I had no business going out. I got with behind me, bro.
Another one that was tough coming down from the Easton side. This really came down between the Easton Canal Redmondo and the World Series Tantrum. And for me, I prefer the World Series Tantrum because it was a shorter barrel and it had a little bit of crisper feel. And, we just got good performance. I think both bats are phenomenal. But the World Series Tantrum, it was a 12-inch barrel. Myself and Kendrick swung the bat. We're hitting on a big field right here. And we got really, really good performance, really good sound. I think it was just a solid bat that we all like, man. Glenn did take this bat, and I think it started failing like about 200 swings. So I think this year I am going to do a little bit better job of providing updates with the bats so that, normally we'll do about 100, 120 swings and we give you the update, the feedback on the bat. But I think we got to start doing some follow-ups to see, like, when the bat is at peak performance, when does it fail, so that we can give the information to the consumer. But the World Series Tantrum, 12-inch, that was my favorite Easton this year. So coming down to the Word side, the Word Power Cell Double XL end load bat. I think this was a 12.5-inch barrel, full ounce end load. Easily my favorite Word that I swung this year. I swung this bat at Black Circuit Worlds, and I had a hard time keeping the ball in the park with it. Not that I made the attempt to keep the ball in the park, but this was a bat that was just so easy to swing. I never really swung this bat too hard, but then the ball just trampoline off of it. And I know Word, just like Miken and all the other companies, they dropped a lot of good bats. Bedlam took over by storm. But I feel like this bat just kind of flew under the radar, the Word Power Cell. That 1 ounce end load just does that little extra that you need, where you don't need to swing it too hard and it does what it has to do. So on the Word side, the Word Power Cell Double XL end load was my favorite bat this year.
Don't be afraid of the full ounce end load. People think that if the full ounce is heavy, it's going to be more effort to swing. In my opinion, that's the furthest from the truth, man.
All right, so there you have it, man. This was, you know, like I said, it was kind of hard to really dwindle down, you know, one single bat from every company that we swung that stood out about the rest, because there were multiple bats that just did the job, man, you know, and that was very, very, very good. So again, I hope I didn't forget anyone. I appreciate everyone who always tune in to get our opinions. You know, and something I want to say for 2025 going forward, man. To everyone who has subscribed to the channel, it is so much appreciated and everything like that. And one thing I want to share, and I don't speak for anyone else, these bat reviews are not a competition. You know, I am fans of all content creators out there, whether it's Handle with Average Dude, Fat Guy BP, Cole Campbell, Big Ben, Backflip BP, Gordo Life, everybody, BP Hero. So the point that I'm making is a Swing Cartel as well. The point that I'm making is, you know, sometimes when we do our reviews, we like to always compare our data, you know, to see how bats fit for certain people, because we all bring a different element to the game, you know. So just understand that what we're doing is we're just trying to provide you as much information as we can with the product. And, you know, like I said, it's not a competition. You know, some of us, we do talk, and, you know, we try to garner feedback and see if we get similar feedback or something that was different, and we understand we're in different environments that do affect a lot of stuff, whether it's the ball flights and everything like that. So the point I'm making, man, go out, do your research, support content creators, man. Like I said, it ain't a competition among us. It ain't like, well, Big Chef said this or Handle said this or Big Chef. No, man, we're all fans of one another. You know, so again, that's just my touch going into 2025. We just want to go ahead and you know, spread the love with everybody. And I appreciate everybody who always tune in, man. Whether you put me on the watch me on the phone, on your TV screen. I apologize for the wives that you guys see this big black handsome man on the screen. Married. You know, but as always, man, listen, I appreciate y'all coming to the kitchen. Look forward to having a good 2025. Y'all stay tuned, man. We're gonna have some good products, and you know, let's get it. All right, see y'all later.